Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to South Arm Park in Richmond, British Columbia, on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territories of the Musqueams people. You're watching the 2026 Rain Invite presented by Vancouver Ultimate. Jagraj Lully with the call, joined alongside Justin Luna in the producer's chair. We have Theo in the camera. On the camera, we have Matthew. On behalf of Trickshot, we'd like to welcome you to today's broadcast of this junior semifinal matchup between Point Grey and Burnaby South. Justin, you have been to one of these schools.
Yes.
You are a Point Grey alumnus, but overall, some of the top school programs are here today. They're ready to compete at a high level. What sort of matchup should we anticipate between these two teams here today?
Yeah, just the fact that they're both in semifinals, both these teams are a well-oiled machine. They have won a couple games as well. This Point Grey team is well coached. I know a couple of them as well. They coach club. They've been players for a long time. And I would imagine the same with this Burnaby South squad. Well coached, lots of good players on both ends.
Point Grey, they earned the right to play in this matchup with a 9-6 defeat of Semiahmoo at the quarterfinal matchup this morning. And Burnaby South defeated McNeil 6-5, the final score there, to earn their right in the matchup here today. So both of these teams have already had a game today to play, and we'll see how those legs sort of factor in here, having already played a game, and they're looking to play another game to obviously try and compete for a championship here in the junior bracket of the tournament.
Yeah, that Burnaby South McNeil game only going to 11 points aside might have a bit more of effect on the Burnaby South team's legs. Those longer points are really crucial, and the more you're out on the field, the more tired you get, versus that Point Grey Semiahmoo game where it was 9-6, a little bit shorter points, so a little bit more rest for each of the team members there.
And for these teams looking on in the Saturday crossover games, Point Grey defeated Hamber by a 9-8 score, while Burnaby South defeated Fleetwood Park by a 7-5 score. And in the pool play on Saturday, we saw that Point Grey defeated Van Tech 13-0. Burnaby South defeated Van Tech 8-7. And these two teams have already played one another in pool play. It was a 13-2 final score for Point Grey.
Oh, so let's see if Burnaby South is able to make any sort of adjustments right now to see if they can, make the score a bit closer or even come away with the win. But Point Grey, we'll just have to let Burnaby South make the changes there.
Here we go. There's the poll. Point Grey will be going from right to left on your broadcast screens for now, at least on this first possession, wearing the dark colored jerseys. Burnaby South going vice versa with the light colored jerseys. And we are off and underway here today. A long huck thrown all the way down near the end zone, and that one is out of play. And a great first possession there. You can see the rapid-fire pace that both of these teams hope to bring to this game.
Yeah, right away we see a pretty good shot to the end zone there. The Burnaby South player just going just out of bounds, but definitely a good option there. Now we're going to see Point Grey's D-line offense and see whether or not they are able to, punch in this first break here.
So the games are going to be going to 13 points, of course. A no win by 2, the hard cap at 75 minutes. As we see there, Point Grey trying to move the disc up. They're able to get the pass through, and that is intercepted, but a foul called here by the player.
It seems that this is going to be contested, so right back to the original thrower. No love lost, and game resumes.
And so here's a long huck heading down the other way, and that is incomplete. As you'll see there, not just the short form passes, but both teams will try and elect to the long form passes here to try and get a score. We see some of Point Grey's coaches on the far side as well, willing to coach up their team. Of course, the three-team coaching staff for them.
Yep, each of them very well experienced. We have a very experienced player there, and as well as 2 players who have played UBC and lots of club team experience as well.
The disc ends up now at the middle, and that is caught. It's thrown forward as Burnaby South looks to head into the end zone here. Here's number 3 for Burnaby South, and it's intercepted. Great hands there by number 21 as he's able to get his hands up and prevent the pass from getting through.
You're just seeing that a player was going deep and then being able to just put their hands up and, affect that pass enough to get a block.
As we see Point Grey here, a long huck heading down the other way. This one's got a chance, but it is intercepted. The height advantage wins there as Burnaby South's player is able to send the disc down.
Yeah, we're sort of starting to see some key roles come out here. 21, a big hooker for this Point Grey team, and 0 as well, a very big receiver. But 1-4 on Burnaby South is just as big, if not bigger, than number 0 here.
And so we'll see a long huck now from Burnaby South as they'll look to throw it to the end zone, but that one will be out of play for the turnover, and it will be Point Grey disc as they will take the disc.
And let's see if they're going to make any adjustments right now. They've been sort of getting a lot of unders and getting easy yards like that, but then every single huck they've been doing sort of is a turnover. So let's see if they'll make a change here.
So the first pass is complete, as is the second, as number 23 will take it for Point Grey. She'll look for the drop pass back. That gets through.
Oh.
And now a great interception there on the part of Burnaby South. Great hands there. It comes back out now to near the end zone. You can see the coaches so heavily involved in the game here, just wanting to set up these players for as much success as possible. And now at the end zone, they'll flip it forward, and that is incomplete. Just a missed opportunity there for Burnaby South. And, I mean, Justin, already we're seeing that it may have been a 13-2 game in round-robin play, but doesn't seem like the case here so far.
Yeah, this is a very close game already. Lots of back-and-forth turns and lots of good hucks. And just out of the hands of the Point Grey player there, but it's definitely a lot closer than it seems, and this Burnaby South team is, generating turns and just a little bit unlucky in the end zone, just not able to secure the disc for the score.
So we'll see the disc come back to the far side, as it will be Burnaby South taking possession. A long huck now to the end zone. This one's got a chance, and it is incomplete. A great interception there by the Point Grey player. Gets the hands up. He'll move it forward now to the end zone line. Flipped forward now past the far side. As we see the flip of the disc, the layout attempt is no good. Foul called here. And it seems like no, Burnaby South will still take possession. Stall count going on. Moved up just outside the red zone. As Burnaby South looking for a good passing lane, they're able to flip it back. Good pass attempt there, and that one goes out. And it will stay a scoreless tie here. I think this might have been, out of the 3 games we've done so far, the most time allotted without a single score in the game so far.
Yeah, but we're seeing a lot of really good movement as well. We see the Burnaby South team moving into the break side, and while there wasn't a receiver there to catch that disc, there was space there. And, maybe Point Grey is going to start keying on that, but Burnaby South is moving the disc very well.
And so Point Grey will take possession here, as they'll elect for the long huck all the way back down the other way, and that is caught. The clap catch is complete. And the Point Grey offense gets to go to work. It's at the red line, or at the red zone, and that will be a score. So Point Grey strikes first here, as they will take the 1-zip lead on Burnaby South. Great disc movement downfield, and it results in a well-earned point.
Yeah, if the first 5 hucks don't really work, just, do it a 6th time and maybe it's going to go there. But great presence of mind to find the receiver in the end zone there and just let it go and float to the open side and, let your players make a play.
And so the disc simply able to be flipped there. We shall remind you that halftime will be at the 7-point mark when 7 points are scored, or 45 minutes have elapsed in the time. Teams get 1 timeout per half, and of course here at the junior level we got to remember, Justin, there's no foot blocks, there is no zone defense as well, as opposed to the senior level.
Yep, helps out with the development of the players. Zone is kind of stifling, and when the disc scales aren't as good as they are in the senior division, the zones are very stifling. So making sure that each team is focused on development here, both in the BC School Sports Sanction and at this tournament, just helps with the growth of the sport here. And we see with the Burnaby South team that they're sort of having 2 or 3 key players already, number 1 being a very big hooker for them, and number 14 being a very, very big deep receiver, as well as number 2 being a good player that takes the unders and, is able to generate and churn yards like that. I think Point Grey is starting to key in on that already, so let's see if the Burnaby South team is able to make any adjustments, or if they're just going to stay with that game and hope, they're able to get a bit more lucky.
Well, I think especially in the case of the Burnaby South player there, the tall receiver you talk about. When you have height, I think it's best you use it to your advantage. I'm saying that from experience. Back when I used to play basketball, I used to always be parked in the paint.
Yes.
And would get the ball there right under the basket. And I think, in ultimate here, it's the same thing. Just have the receiver deep, ready to catch the disc if need be. Yes. And that's how they're utilizing him so far.
Yes, as someone who's not as tall, I really wish I was a bit taller so I could be a very big, deep receiver in the end zone. I mean, throwing the disc far is cool and all, but what's better than just rising above 7 people and bringing it down yourself?
So when you played, what position did you play?
I was primarily a handler. Or in high school, I started out as a cutter because I was a little bit faster, but then I got into college, I played for UBC, and then playing against Americans, they're just so much taller than me. So I had to transition my role from a cutter to a handler, and now I'm just a little bit too slow and a little bit too heavy to play to be a cutter anymore.
Well, it helps that you can still stay involved in the game, whether it's coaching, whether it's broadcasting, whether it's, being a tournament director as well.
Yes, I love the sport. I love the athletes that are playing at every single level, and I'm loving where the sport is going right now.
So Burnaby South signals that they are ready to receive the pull. Here's the pull.
Good distance there from the Point Grey puller there.
Yeah, very good distance as Burnaby South will look to start their offense here. At the near side, it's number 10 for Burnaby South. The stall count going up here. She has to get a pass through. Pivots, gets the pass through now to number 18. Here's number 18 for Burnaby South. He'll move it upfield to number 3. 3 back for 18. Good give and go as he's able to catch it. He'll look to move that one downfield, and the pass is complete. And they will score. Burnaby South has tied the game at 1, but there is a contest.
I think they might be saying that she was not in yet, but
I think what they're contesting is that disc hit the floor before she caught it.
One important thing about Ultimate Frisbee is the players on the field are their own referees, so it is up to those 2 players that were involved in the play to come to a conclusion themselves.
Take a look at the replay right here. So what happened here is the pass that was meant for the initial cutter, she didn't catch it. It hit her fingers, and then it went to the next cutter who ended up catching it. They're going to replay the point eventually, and that is incomplete. So it ends up working out to Point Grey's favor anyways. It's still a 1-0 score. And Point Grey will continue up with this 1-zip lead as they'll take the disc now from their own end zone. They're looking for a long huck down the other way as the pass is through. Good flip pass up ahead. Ends up forward. As they'll look to try and establish the break point here. Move forward. What a catch with the one hand. Long huck into the end zone. This one's got a chance, and it is incomplete.
Great hands, but a little bit too much juice on that throw. Just out of the hands of number 43, that Point Grey receiver.
So as you can see, especially in the sport of ultimate, there's no barrier between, where the coaches can go and they can't go. The only barrier is they have to stay out of the line here. But for the most part, it allows these coaches to head all the way downfield to coach their teams and get them to the places where they want to be.
Yeah, very interesting thing about ultimate is the coaches, you'll see them across all over the field. Sometimes, if they get a little bit too excited, they'll be on the field themselves too, but usually they're pretty good at staying off, and you'll see them everywhere.
So Burnaby South on offense. That is incomplete as Point Grey is able to turn the disc or force a turnover. Comes back out to the far side. You saw the replay there. Point Grey has possession of the disc as it ends up back out at the far sideline. Moved forward. The clap catch is complete, or the two-handed catch is complete there.
Maybe a stoppage on the field? Nope.
No
one's moving.
Going on. They're pretty stagnant here when it comes to movement that way, and the disc is now thrown to the end zone, but it is incomplete. A low-scoring affair between these two teams so far.
Yeah, it seems that everyone on the field just sort of froze for a moment in time, like the field was frozen, but play still went on and just nothing was happening. It was a little weird, but turnover for Point Grey and back in the hands of Burnaby South.
Well, and as I was mentioning earlier on, it just seems like there's a lot more stagnant play here between these two teams as opposed to the high-scoring matchups that we've seen so far. As a long huck thrown the other way. This one's got a chance, and it is caught. What a catch there by Burnaby South's number 14. Check that. He will clean himself off and then gets ready to play the disc upfield. The throw with the left hand is complete. Here is number 18 for Burnaby South. He'll move it towards the end zone. Number 2 has it as she's near the end zone line. She'll have to drop it back as number 1 goes to the end zone, and that is just at the sideline. They're trying to see if he was in or not. And he's trying to make the case like, hey, I was in. And there looks like they'll just replay the point here.
Yeah, contested in call and goes back to the hands of number 1, who made a great initial break pass to throw it to the break side. And play continues.
Great pass up ahead as that one ends up caught. And Burnaby South is on the board as they've tied this game up at 1.
Seems to be a bit of a closer game than their pool play, which was 13-2 in favor of Point Grey. A very big grab by the receiver, number 14. So we'll see a replay of it here.
Yeah, and as you can see, a great initial pass, and then on the ensuing play, able to, it looked like he was trying to go to the forehand. Instead, gets the pass through to the backhand, finds number 10, and that will come all the way out to the near side. No mistake made there by Burnaby South, and we have tied this game. They have tied this game up at 1. In a low-scoring game like this, Justin, what are you seeing so far?
I'm seeing a lot more stagnation from the cutters. You'll see it a lot in the junior division where cutters aren't necessarily confident in moving to the right spaces, but what's important is that they just have that confidence even if they're making the wrong cut, just going there anyways, because sometimes they'll be open even if they're cutting to the wrong side.
And when a game is as close as this, from a coach's standpoint here, what is the biggest thing you're stressing to your team?
Every point matters, especially in these lower scoring games. Maybe 1 point in the senior division doesn't super matter because we're all reaching 13 anyways, but it's clear that 1 point would matter when Burnaby South eked out a win 6-5 and Point Grey, eked out a win against Eric Hamber 9-8. So these singular points, while it may not be, feel important in the grand scheme of the game, it might be the difference between winning and losing.
And for Point Grey especially, coming into this one, having defeated Burnaby South 13-2 in round robin play, that was sitting at the back of Burnaby's minds, but they were pretty adamant and they were pretty confident in themselves, saying we got back to this point, we got back to the semifinals for a reason, and we aren't going to let what happened earlier in the game, we're not going to let that affect us here later on. And so there's the pull, a great pull, as it comes back now to Point Grey. They'll look to begin their offense. Thrown out to the far side, ends up back out to the far sideline. As the pass ends up through near the center field line. Long huck thrown back the other way. That is caught. One-handed catch is complete. Incredible catch. He'll throw it back to the near side. That's up in the air. And that is caught. And Point Grey have, just like that, regained the lead.
Yeah, an excellent catch there under pressure and then fading away a little bit, throwing it to the break side and just trusting your receiver to go get that one as well. You see that there. Excellent grab. Sees a streaking player going downfield, a little bit of a fadeaway. And then just this nice secure grab to get a pretty easy point for Point Grey there.
So now Point Grey leads Burnaby South by a score of 2-1. And both of these teams, it's like a chess match, both trying to see who will make the first mistake, and not necessarily mistakes made so far, but in a tactical match like this, Point Grey has taken a 2-1 lead, a low-scoring game at that.
And maybe something a little bit unspoken right now, but Point Grey does have a fairly big roster and definitely bigger compared to Burnaby South. And We see that big receiver on Burnaby South, number 14, who's been playing every single point, but nobody on Point Grey has needed to double shift. They have their O-line out, and then they have their D-line out, and everyone is getting a lot of rest, whereas this game, if it goes too long and the points take a little bit more time, that could affect Burnaby South's legs and create a couple errant drops or turns later in the game.
And I think when you have a roster as big as Point Grey has, and it allows everyone to sort of get their own time in the game, I think it truly does make a difference in what many hope that can help your endurance for the game as long as it is, especially as we made mention, some of these points are a lot longer than others, to say the least.
Yeah, and Point Grey has a lot of weapons in their roster right now. Everyone seems to be pretty good with the disc. They're able to complete passes, either deep or short. Whereas Burnaby South only has a couple key players that are able to, make those big throws. And if Point Grey is able to key on them again, because they've already played them, then this could be currents fairly quick. But Burnaby South is able to make adjustments, as we've seen, and let's see if they're able to punch in another one with this offensive line.
Other games going on in the junior bracket as we speak. Lady Byng taking on Eric Hamber over at the field across from us. McNeil is taking on Semiyamu at field number 7, and Burnett is taking on Boyd at field number 8. Other matchups going on in the junior division.
Yeah, and that Byng-Hamber game is definitely going to be a very big back and forth game. Byng, as we saw, very good with the disc, a lot of good players, and Hamburg just as good as we've seen. They've had very high scoring games and have played Point Grey quite closely as well.
Of course, the final of this tournament will take place at 2:30 local time right here on Field 5. You can catch the call with us here on Trick Shot. As here will be the pull, and it ends up back just outside the far sideline. So Burnaby South will begin just outside the center line here.
And in the hands of number 1, that Burnaby South handler, who sort of keyed in on being one of their main throwers.
Long huck down the other way, and that is caught. Number 14 is able to receive it, and now throws it to the end zone, but that is incomplete.
And number 14 looking over at his coach saying, yep, that was my fault. I apologize for that one.
Accountability is very important, and you see some of these players having that sort of accountability. But in number 14's defense, he's played every point out here so far, so I think for him, he'll try and do his best to try and tie this game up for his team. They only trailed by 1 goal as we speak. Good pass out to the near side, past the sideline for Point Grey. They'll move it upfield. Ends up near side, back center field, but the centering pass is intercepted and is rather incomplete there, I should say. Pass unable to be completed, so we shall see Burnaby South head back on offense. A low huck there, unable to get through.
And we're seeing sort of the solid Point Grey D-line handlers right now. Currently the person with the disc, a great cutter, but Point Grey is looking for those same players who are, pretty strong with the disc to get it back and to complete passes.
One-handed drop catch there from the drop pass, I should say, rather.
And I think they're calling stall down, so you can only hold the disc for 10 seconds. If you reach 10 seconds, it is called a stall down, and then it is a turnover right where the disc lies.
Yeah, so the stall count there is called, and Burnaby South will take possession. They'll move it back to the forehand. This one's got a chance, and it is incomplete. As the Burnaby South player tried to collect it with his left hand, just couldn't grab it, and it ends up going out. So it's still a 2-1 lead for Burnaby or Point Grey. We do have a player down by the looks of it. And I think he seems to be okay. He will be helped back to the Point Grey staff, the Point Grey, or he'll be helped back to the Point Grey side, but I think there seems to be another player who's currently in some discomfort.
Yeah, a couple players perhaps hurt on that play there, but good to see that both players are able to just walk it off at least. So not too bad of an injury, but they do need to just take us up here.
Seems to be just outside the sideline, but it does seem like the player will be okay. of course, in sports, we never want to see our players go down or anyone get hurt with injury, but sometimes it does happen, and hopefully she'll be okay.
Yep, unfortunately, with long days and long games, injuries are pretty frequent, but as long as they're okay and they're able to play again, that's all that we can hope for. Oh,
here's a long huck heading downfield, and a good club catch. That is complete. And they do end up dropping the disc here, so the club catch all for naught. Another look at that incredible catch down the field there with the defense pressuring from behind. She's able to lock down both hands. Burnaby South will take possession here.
I think good defensive stand by number 10 on Burnaby South. They just get a hand block there. And
good throw on the forehand, and that was deflected, but ends up going out. And it ends up being incompleted, rather, and Point Grey will take over. So the disc ends up at the left side. It's thrown right downfield, moved back to the far side once again, flipped back. Has a good throw on the forehand. Ends up back out to the near side. The clap catch is complete. Another good throw. It ends up all the way downfield, and that is incomplete. A bit of a volleyball spike there, and the Burnaby South bench loves it.
Some LeBron calls in the
Some
Burnaby
LeBron
South.
calls in the back, yeah. Sometimes you got to remember, these kids are in grade 9 and 10.
Yes, and all they know is basketball,
Basketball,
volleyball.
yeah. LeBron's all they've known their entire life.
I know, and he's still in the league. And
LeBron's all I've known my entire life.
me as well.
LeBron was in his first year in the league when I was born, or second year, actually.
Yeah, for the longest I've known basketball, LeBron's been there.
And so the disc ends up being thrown from the near corner, and that is incomplete. Justin, the trend we're starting to see here, a lot of incomplete catches and a lot of incomplete passes on the field so far.
Yeah, sort of in the juniors game, a little bit of a running trend is just playing the yardage game, hucking it down the field and hoping they'll get an early field turnover. If you're able to do that, then you can just play end zone instead, just because some junior teams aren't able to string together a lot of passes, but I think both teams are able to do that, so I think it should be okay.
Point Grey will take possession of the disc. As we'll move it all the way down the field, and that is incomplete.
Just more space when you go for those.
And so we shall see the incomplete pass there. And it will be, I believe it's going to stay with Point Grey here, unless Burnaby South will take possession.
We see a big huck coming out once
Long
again.
huck down the other way, and that is incomplete.
And that is classic high school junior ball. Huck it down the field and play some defense. You hate to see it. Sometimes you love to see it, but regardless of what happens, if the disc floats, you do see some incredible plays. But right now, the disc just isn't getting high enough. There's not enough elevation, and the Burnaby South and Point Grey players aren't able to make a play on it. So a very big difference from the game yesterday, where it was 13-2. This is a much lower scoring game.
And so we shall see.
And perhaps
It seems like there's a timeout being called here.
I believe the first time out of the day, actually.
Yeah, it is the first time out of the day, actually, at least here. It will be the first time out, and coaches will talk things over.
Hopefully we see a little bit more discipline with the disc, able to churn a couple more unders rather than just hucking it deep. I do believe both teams are capable of doing that. They just have to believe that, they're able to string together those passes.
Well, that will step aside. 2-1 the score. Point Grey over Burnaby South. Stay tuned. This is the 2026 Rain Invite on TrickShotLive.com. All right, as we get set to head back to live action here, we shall remind you that Friction gloves are designed to improve your throws and catches in any weather. Elevate your game at frictiongloves.com. Back to live action as the disc now into the hands of Burnaby South. And as you can see here, Justin, Burnaby South setting up in the end zone.
Oh, great
Four-handed
move.
throw, great pass, and that is incomplete.
Too many Burnaby South players going for that disc there, and maybe they did themselves, because I don't think a Point Grey player got a hand in there.
Well, no such thing as too many men on the field.
Yes.
In that instance, well, there is technically a rule for too many players on the field, but in that case, just miscommunication there, you can say, with the players all trying to aim to get the disc, and unfortunately, there's only one pair of hands that can catch the disc to score.
Yeah, just too many heroes. Someone has to make the safer play to go for the rebound.
Incomplete their pass from Point Grey, so Burnaby South will take over as they'll look to get the break point.
And Burnaby South, in that exact same situation they were previously. Let's see if they can capitalize on this short field turn. It seems that number 14 is going to make that initial cut, and let's see what move he can make on number 0. They've been matched up all game long, and it's been exciting.
Yeah, lots of energy between those two there. Number 0 of Point Grey, his intensity is next level, especially on the defensive side of the disc. And the disc goes out of play here, so it will be Point Grey disc.
Yeah, just off the hands of number 3, definitely wishes he could have that one back, and we're back onto the corner for Point Grey.
So Point Grey will take possession from the near side corner. Has a great bit of shuffle there. It ends up through, and that is incomplete. As Burnaby South unable to complete that pass there. So our Point Grey unable to complete that pass there, and Burnaby South will take over once again. And again, it's back and forth they go.
Tennis match, one team's on offense, the next team's on offense, but still the same point.
And that pass is completed. A complete pass from Burnaby South as they'll drop it back out to the near sideline. Looks to throw it to the end zone, and I believe we have another incomplete pass here, so it's going to be Point Grey possession.
You know, history does tend to repeat itself, and that, I believe, is the second time that's happened, and we're just seeing the same sort of actions going and happening over and over again.
All right, now Point Grey trying to do their best to get out of their own end, but they're unable to do so. The pass just incomplete there as well as we approach 37-33 remaining in the hard cap.
And number 1 taking a little bit of a chill pill, walking away from the disc, and coach coming in and giving some
instruction.
Advice. Now, if I could put my money on this, it's going to the right side of the field.
And you are correct, but there is number 0 of Point Grey who swats it down. I'm sure he's gotten inspiration from LeBron, as have all of these players out on the field. We heard the LeBron chants earlier on.
And right back to almost the same scenario. Number 1 walking away from the
We are making progress up the field, though, Justin. We are making progress up the field, getting closer to the center line.
Slowly but surely, we're going to get there.
Slowly but surely indeed. As here's a huck to the end zone, a chance, and it is intercepted. What an effort there by number 0 on Point Grey, as he is turning up the intensity here. Completes the pass, but still the feisty defense of Burnaby South unable to, they are not allowing Point Grey to get out of their own zone. An incomplete pass there, and Burnaby South will take over once again.
And if I had a nickel for every single time number 1 walked away from the disc and picked it up at this point, I'd have 4 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it is weird that it happened 4 times.
So Burnaby South will take over. Long huck. This one's going down to the end zone, and it is incomplete. Back and forth we go, and as you can see now, Point Grey looking to turn up the speed. Pass gets through as they'll send it out to the far side. Again, an incomplete pass, though, as Burnaby South with the interception. We'll take a look at the replay there off that last pass that was completed. And that ultimately led to another pass attempt, but that pass attempt was incomplete. So now the possession will be into the hands of Point Grey for now, at least.
Seems that there was a contested foul call, so back to the thrower, maybe having a bit more of a discussion on it, and back to stall 3. Ooh,
Great
throw.
pass. Out to the near side. A long huck thrown down the other way. This one's got a chance. She's hustling towards the end zone. Going to the end zone. It is caught! And that is a good score. Point Grey has taken a 3-1 lead.
Excellent speed by number 43 there to track down the disc, and an excellent throw as well. A little bit of a back and forth point, but a great way to end it off.
A long point that was. A very long point indeed. As I'll take a look at the replay right here, Justin. Just a great drop pass, and you see there the elevation really turned a shoulder before he got the pass across.
Loosened it up, spun his hips, and just let it fly, and 43 has the legs to chase it down. Even after a long point, it shows each of these players' athleticism to keep going, and despite this almost being a 15-20 minute point, still having the energy to do a full sprint is awesome.
3-1 the score for Point Grey. I believe that takes us now to our halftime as Point Grey leads Burnaby South here. Don't go anywhere. You are watching the 2026 rain invite from South Arm Park in Richmond, presented by Vancouver Ultimate.
After a great back, Michaela, great run through. Way to run like really classic.
Welcome back inside South Arm Park in Richmond, BC, as we bring you continued coverage of the 2026 Rain Invite presented by Vancouver Ultimate. Opening pull of the second half is upon us, with Point Grey receiving. Point Grey leading 3-1 over Burnaby South. Justin, what have you seen in this game so far?
Lots of hucks and lots of turnovers, but I do expect a little bit of a adjustment from both teams here, especially from this Point Grey team, who beat Burnaby South 13-2, 13-3, and now it's a pretty tight game still, but let's see any adjustments they'll make.
So we shall see Point Grey take possession here as they will look to find an open lane. Not many passing lanes available there, and Burnaby South's defense able to force the turnover. So Point Grey will now take possession once again here. It will look like, no, it's going to be Burnaby South back on offense.
And back in the hands of number 1, who's been a big hawker for this Burnaby South team, but they seem to be churning the unders, which is keeping possession of the disc here, which is good.
Good underhand there. You'll see number 14 from Burnaby South trying to work behind the back. He'll drop it back to number 1. 1 goes for a underhanded throw, as he's able to get the throw complete with the forehand. Again, passing lanes. Point Grey's defense doing a great job. Foul called here by number 23 of Point Grey.
Maybe a little bit of a push-off or perhaps a pick, but regardless, disc goes back to the original thrower.
And so the disc ends up back out now to the far side. Again,
another call on the field.
Call here on the field.
Unsure what this one is, but back to the thrower again.
So they'll redo that sequence there. As an incomplete, a turnover there from Point Grey. So number 23's efforts there ultimately do end up paying off. We'll see the disc being thrown all the way downfield. No one really there to receive, and this is going to be incomplete.
A bit of a miscommunication between number 21 and 23. 23 thinking 21 was going deep, but 21 wanted to turn the under. So, a bit of a miscommunication there, but all good. Back in the hands of Burnaby South and back in the hands of number 1 here.
So Burnaby South will take possession. And while we're seeing a couple of the Burnaby South representatives wearing jerseys on the sideline, teams obviously wearing the white jerseys on the field. As we have the pass being completed, Burnaby South's number 1 has possession. He's looking to complete the pass and gets the pass through out to the far side. Falling down on one knee was number 9. She's able to complete the pass. The layout there, she was thinking layout there, but ultimately chose not to do that, and the pass is incomplete, so Point Grey will take over.
You got the 0 versus 14 matchup here. 0 picking up the disc. Usually one of the receivers, but this time I guess changing it up and being the person with the disc.
Well, it's been a really fun matchup to watch between those two. The intensity that they've brought on both sides of the disc has been extremely fun to watch. There's a long huck back down the other way, and that is incomplete. Number 14 getting in the way there of number 0, and the long arms of number 14 pay off.
Yeah, back in the hands of Burnaby South, and who else but then number 1 to go pick up the disc. It seems that churning the unders has been working for this Burnaby South team. I would love to see the cutters, take 2 hard steps out, go under, number 1 throw a nice and easy pass, and then hopefully he can get it back. And if they can repeat that sequence for 3 or 4 times, I guarantee it's going to be a Burnaby South goal.
So we shall see the disc come through out now to the far side. A long huck there by Burnaby South. He's aiming for number 14 in the end zone, and that is incomplete. A great interception by number 0. He'll look to move it up to number 21, and that is incomplete as well. On both sides of the disc, great defensive presence from both teams.
Back into the hands of Burnaby South. A short field turner, and they could close the gap to 1 point here.
3-1 the score here. 25 minutes left to go in the hard cap clock. If you've just joined us, welcome to our broadcast. Burnaby South looking to send that one into the end zone. Here's a chance, and that is incomplete.
Now, Point Grey has a lot of yards to turn to until they can get into the Burnaby South's end zone, but they've shown that they can do it if they're able to stay disciplined with the disc. Maybe a couple less hucks, but churn out those unders. It seems that all of them have a couple more legs than a Burnaby South player, so if they're just going for a couple more secure passes, secure cuts, this could definitely widen the gap for Point Grey.
Well, I'm sure you can agree with me on this here, Justin. As this game has gone on, as we start to get deeper in the brackets, the games are going to become much more tighter, and you're seeing that in this game here today.
Yeah, and just no options downfield for the Point Grey cutter there, or for the Point Grey handler. And once again, it's another one pass turnover and back to Burnaby South.
So Burnaby South will take over possession here as the Point Grey Hounds will look on. I believe that's the mascot.
Yep, Point Grey Hounds. And then Burnaby South Rebels.
The Rebels and the Hounds. Good throw there on the forehand. This one's aiming for the end zone. 14 will try and aim for it, but it is eventually out of play. And so Point Grey will take possession.
Yeah, and we can definitely see the fatigue getting to some of the players there. When you're tired, you don't really want to string together passes. You just want to complete it in one. And while it may seem like the easier option, I guarantee it is not, and you just sort of need to turn those unders like what's going on now.
And a drop pass there from Point Grey. Burnaby South will take over. And especially so far in the second half, it feels like a lot of the play has been dictated on this side of the field. Burnaby South aiming for the end zone, and that is caught. Yeah, she is right at the end zone line. Has to complete another pass to try and score here. Stall count getting up there. Flips it forward, and that is incomplete. Oh, man, what a chance there. As she received the two-handed catch, she got the two-handed catch, but eventually ran out of options on where I should pass to and ends up throwing it straight to the ground.
Yeah, sort of the story of this point, no options downfield, and just sort of throw it up there and hope someone else gets it for you.
Disc ends up back to the far side of the field. Has a long huck heading all the way down. This one's got a chance if they hurry. It is caught. The feet are established. One more pass still required to the end zone, and we have a score. Finally, after a while, number 0 for Point Grey has put them up 4-1.
Yeah, an excellent break side huck there to sort of put it out into space, and then even though it's a long point, number 0 was able to beat his man to the spot and just get open in the end zone.
And let's take a look at the replay right here. The long huck heading down the other way and getting the break point there for the Point Grey Hounds. A point for point. 4-1 the score for the Hounds.
And definitely each team is going to need to rotate their players a bit, but I don't think Burnaby South has the luxury of, subbing out their players. They're a very short roster, and it seems that Point Grey is just doing a full sail line change and getting a fresh 7 bodies on the field.
Well, if you're Burnaby South in this specific case here, being down by 3 points in which you had multiple opportunities to try and score, unfortunately unable to get the job done there. If you're the coaching staff, what do you tell your players?
It's definitely a little bit demoralizing as a coach and a player, but the best you can do is try to get them back up, tell them that it's all right, and to just play the way that they've always been playing. And you don't need to change anything too much if you're getting the results, but right now they just need to play with a little bit more discipline.
21 minutes remaining in the hard cap clock here. 4-1 the score between Point Grey and Burnaby South. Third of our 6-game slate here today.
Yeah, and after a grueling, 10-minute point there and then a 20-minute point previously, number 14 and number 1 and number 3, and in fact, maybe that entire line is going to play again for the 5th, 6th point.
And with the Burnaby South here, you're seeing number 14 still out on the field, the tallest player. And they'll look to utilize his size advantage. Again, just sending him deep as a deep cutter.
Yeah, and despite what's going on in this game right now, a very big program shout out to Burnaby South, who I don't believe had a strong program in previous years. So the fact that their senior team is able to make the semifinals as well as their junior team sort of speaks to what the program has been doing for the past couple years, and they're just only getting stronger year after year.
Yeah, I'm excited about these Senior A semifinals that we'll be doing. Of course, we saw the Senior B quarterfinals, a dominating performance by the Delta Pacers, who took care of business pretty early on in their matchup.
Yeah, and we're definitely going to see a bit of a quicker pace going on from the senior games to our junior games, but the junior games are fun in their own way. You get to see big plays and sometimes shocking, but still very excellent throws that come out that you wouldn't really see from the senior level just because those juniors have the confidence to throw them out there.
Well, who knows? Some of these players who currently play junior, we could see them at the senior level next year.
Oh, most definitely, especially from both these teams. I expect to see these names for a long time to come.
And as we've seen, especially on the Point Grey side of things, a lot of their players play club. So they're definitely familiar in the Ultimate community. And, of course, as you've told me before, Justin, the Ultimate community is a very small, tight-knit community. Everyone knows everyone.
Yes, everyone knows everyone. So if you're a good player, you're going to be known. If you're a bad player, still going to be known.
Burnaby South has possession of the disc. A good pass out to the near side at center field. As trying to get the pass there was number 18, but just couldn't get it off of his hand the way he wanted it to. So it stays a 4-1 game, and it looks like Point Grey will take over here on possession.
I'm glad to see number 28 for Point Grey back on the field. He was in injury step earlier, but glad to see that he's still able to play.
So the disc ends up a long huck down to the end zone. This one's got a chance, and it is caught. Great catch there for Point Grey on the long huck, as it'll now be 5-1 for the Point Grey Hounds.
Took a couple points and a bit of the game to get dialed in, but that was a very well-executed huck there. Number 28 picks it up, loosens up the shoulders a bit, sees his cutter going downfield, and just lets it fly. And even though 14, a big threat in the end zone, just being able to get outpaced and able to secure that second chance grab as well.
So 5-1 now the score for Point Grey over Burnaby South. And while that point certainly not taking as much as the previous 2 points did, timing-wise, and perhaps Point Grey's offense starting to get a bit more settled in, we may see shades of that previous round-robin game they had against the Burnaby South Rebels. But again, the credit to the Rebels, who defensively as well have kept Point Grey to one end of the field for a pretty long time. And it was only on the break point there that Point Grey was able to find the end zone.
Yeah, and despite a pretty big gap between the two teams, Burnaby South is definitely having a better performance right now than they had in their previous showcase with Point Grey. So being able to just take the wins when you can get them, and maybe even, close the gap a bit, score a couple points. They definitely have the tools, they have the facilities, and let's see if they're able to just punch in a couple holds here.
Now, when you go from the junior to the senior level, obviously you get, in this tournament specifically, you get to play zone defense. Foot blocks are allowed as well. What do you think that sort of transition is like from, playing a style of Ultimate where, okay, defensively you have to know where you are at all times because no zone defense is allowed, to having to incorporate those sort of elements into your game?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot to handle for the coaches because they have a lot of things to worry about now, needing to basically game plan for an entirely different set of defenses. But with that new set of defenses comes the experience from the players, so the transition is quite big, but it's always a little smooth.
Burnaby South wasting no time here, picking up the disc. They tried to get the pass across. Point Grey is able to force the turnover, and Point Grey wants to get to work right away. As you'll see, number 28 here.
28 had the excellent huck at the point before, and let's see if he pulls one out again.
He's looking to find an opening as he'll get a pass across from the left, and that is a complete pass, a left-handed throw, and that is incomplete. Great hand there by number 14, his right hand able to send the disc down.
14 looking a little bit gassed, but he has been the main cutting option for this Burnaby South team, so let's see if he's able to push hard and grind it out.
So we shall see the disc come back here into the hands of the Burnaby South Rebels. And they'll take the disc in from the far sideline.
Back to number 1 for Burnaby South, and he's looking for options downfield. Doesn't quite see him. And just a little bit too far for his receiver. And back to Point Grey disc, 28, telling his team to calm down and get set up. And let's see what sort of action they run this time.
So the disc will come back now, back to center field, as number 28 will look to go to work. He's looking for a pass, sends the disc up. As the stall count getting up there, still getting up there, they have to elect for the drop pass instead. And when you're so pressured by the stall count, you have to make those quick judgments. The safest bet is always to get a man back and elect for the drop pass. Thrown towards the end zone, and she is unable to complete the layout catch there. It's going to be South Burnaby, or Burnaby South disc. And again, as I was saying, Justin, earlier on, that when the stall count gets up to that 7-8 margin, you have to make a quick judgment for yourself. I think the safest bet as a team is elect for the drop pass there.
Yeah, if you just be able to dump it back to a safe hands and someone that's there, that's always the number one option. A huge hand block there by Point Grey.
Yeah, what a hand block there by Point Grey. Got the coach certainly fired up. As Point Grey now will have a chance to send this to the end zone. They'll look to find an open lane. Stall count getting up there, thrown with the forehand, and that is near the end zone. Still need one more pass to complete the play. That is thrown up, and it is incomplete.
And back in Burnaby South hands, and let's see if they can move the disc down the field here. Back into the hands of number 1 in the center of the field, so a little bit better field positioning than last time. So,
well, listening to the coaching staff, he wants to set up a stack. Look at the intensity on number 28. Just away from the disc as well, keeping his eyes locked in on number 3. As number 18 will take the disc now for Burnaby South. He'll elect for the drop pass. That gets through. Long huck heading down the other way. It is complete. Number 2 gains possession here for Burnaby South. She's looking to drop it back to number 1. That's a complete clap catch. A good throw there now to the end zone. This one's got a chance. It's up in the air, and that is caught, but it may have been out of bounds. That is what number 28 of Point Grey is contesting. So they'll elect to, they'll elect to say that that may have been out of bounds. So it looks like it is going to be a replay of the point. We'll take a look at the replay right here. As when number 14 caught it, he was beyond the cones. So they will simply replay the point.
Yeah, and back into the hands of 28. 28 sort of being the main handler for Point Grey here, as well as Burnaby South's number 1. Sort of quarterbacking their team, making all the adjudicative decisions here to make sure their team succeeds.
So now Point Grey will look to move upfield. They send the disc back up the far side. A long huck thrown, and that is incomplete. Again, number 14, not much effort required to send that one down the field.
Perhaps pushing the disc a little bit downfield to gain extra yards for their team, but back into the hands of number 1, and let's see if anything changes on this possession here.
And so it will be Burnaby South possession. As number 1 will look to find an open lane. He fakes the throw and now takes the throw. Long huck heading down the other way. This one's got a chance. Number 18 looking to complete the catch, and he catches it. Burnaby South get their second point on the board. And with 11:20 to go in the hard cap time, it's a 3-point game.
I won't get a replay of this point of this throw as well, but you can see number 18 almost misread the disc, thought it was going to drop a bit sooner, but he was able to use his legs and his speed to catch up to the disc and secure the grab with Burnaby South. Number 1 with another excellent huck here, with just enough love on it so that even with a little bit of the judgment mistake by the Burnaby South receiver, he's able to go down and get that disc and a point for Burnaby South.
Now after Burnaby South here with 10:50 to go in the game, it's achievable. You can certainly make up that ground with how much time is remaining.
Yeah, 10 minutes still is a lot of game time, but they're going to have to be a little bit more responsible with the disc, able to speed up the possessions. Even though we want them to play nice and conservative, they are going to need to pick up the pace and get a couple more hucks down, and they need to be able to bring them down.
Coaching staff for Burnaby South talking things over with their group. Of course, we see teams starting to warm up as well. And up next, I know for us, we have a senior semifinal matchup, as we will have the Senior A semifinal matchup between Burnaby South and Handsworth. So Burnaby South represent. It is going to be another Burnaby South matchup here on our stream.
Yeah, and just sort of seeing those two teams play yesterday, they're a very big hucking team. They both play quite fast, and they both have a lot of skilled players on each roster. So a very exciting game coming up.
Should be a good head-to-head matchup. I mean, we saw the Senior B quarterfinals this morning, and the way the Delta Pacers moved the disc as well, that was a lot of fun to watch. And so, you can't be really expecting anything different here with these two teams that are coming up at 1 o'clock local time. Less than 9 minutes to go here in the count.
Yeah, and Burnaby South signaling that they're ready to pull the disc, and Point Grey is sort of, taking their time, maybe running the clock a little bit, but Burnaby South has to speed up the game now. They have to start turning these possessions into points, and they need to score quickly if they want to get a chance to come back in this game.
So, seems like Burnaby South is ready to go. Point Grey is ready to go. Here is the pull. Ends up back at center field, and Point Grey will prepare to run their offense. As number 23, watched closely by number 14, 23, able to get the pass across for Point Grey. Disc will be sent forward. Point Grey looking for an open lane. Great catch there by 23. He'll move it upfield to 21. 21 back to the end zone. 23 catches it with the one hand. A quick point there for Point Grey as they're able to make it 6-2.
Yeah, very big difference from their first couple points this Point Grey O-line. Maybe they're a little bit unsure with their players, but now they seem confident. 23 and 21 are running the show right now.
So for Point Grey, let's take a look at the replay right here. Short passes, Justin,
yes,
are what Point Grey relied on there on that point to eventually get to the end zone. And sometimes short passes is all you need when you overthink certain things, when you overthink a certain pass that does play as a difference. Short passes there were probably the right move for Point Grey.
Yeah, all these players on both teams are able to make these short passes, and I would just love to see a couple more of them, especially because Burnaby South, when 23 was, or number 14 on Burnaby South was on number 23, you could tell number 14 is tired. He has not taken a single point off of this game, so being able to use your legs and run them to the ground is crucial right now. And this might be the first point, actually, that Burnaby South's number 14 is taking off.
And so 7:22 and counting remaining. And yeah, as you were making mention, number 14 has gone to the sidelines. Yeah, and he did everything he could to try and give his team a chance to win in this matchup here. They are only down by 4, but I think a well-deserved rest for him.
Yeah. We still see Burnaby South's number 1 on the field, so they do need to keep their main handler on the field just because I don't think the disc will facilitate as well without him. But let's see what they can do without number 14 and with a different set of players.
Here comes the pull. A great pull there by Point Grey. And now Burnaby South will take possession here. Just at the near sideline. A lot of feints being thrown here. A long huck, as that one has a lot of elevation, and it's going number 14's way as he's on the sidelines reflecting. But, even when he's not in the game, he's still impacting it.
Yeah, unfortunately for Burnaby South, number 14 is not on, so he can't even make a catch there. But disc never in bounds, so it's going to go quite far up the field, and Point Grey is going to have a short field turn.
The rain, of course, has settled down a bit as well. We saw some rain earlier in the day. And the catch there, or the pass there, is incomplete. Burnaby South looking to get the break point here.
And a bit of miscommunication between 21 and 23, who had such a good sequence earlier. Now it's not on the same page.
1 gets the pass through for number 10, as she'll look for an open lane. Number 10 flips it forward, gets the pass across to number 2. 2 looking for an open lane. Stall counts up to 8. And the pass was completed, but she is calling the stall count there.
Looks like there's going to be a contested stall, so it's going to go back to number 2, and it's going to come in at stall 8. Now, a high stall count. Number 2 has to get it off somehow. And it looks like players are moving even before the disc is tapped in.
And this one's a long huck thrown to the end zone, and it is caught. And unfortunately for number 2, her pass was perfect, but number 18 looks like ended up out of play. They're celebrating now as it's going to be a point, and indeed it will be a point. Point Grey is only up by 3 now as Burnaby South has their 3rd point on the board.
Yeah, while the gap is quite small, game does seem quite long, but Burnaby South is sort of mounting a little bit of a comeback here. That was a very quick point for them, and hopefully they can build on that momentum to turn things around.
Quick points are what they have to rely on. 4:32 to go on the count, the hard cap count. And you've got to think 90 seconds at least pile away in the teams talking to one another. And for Point Grey, they want to take as much time off of the clock as they can.
Yeah, they do still have 2 timeouts. One, the floater timeout, and then 1 timeout per half. So if they decide to call both timeouts here, the game's basically over.
So for Point Grey, currently up by a 6-3 score. We'll look to keep their flow of the game going.
And we see both coaches talking to their teams here and sort of making strategic adjustments.
And for the coaching staff as well, a thankless job. We shall remind you that the London Pub is Main Street's go-to spot for sports bar games and team hangouts. Check them out at londonpubvan.com. You can find them at 700 Main Street in Vancouver. Special thank you to London Pub for their support of this weekend's tournament. So I got to ask you, Justin, what is the next major ultimate tournament coming up here in the Lower Mainland?
I believe the next major tournament will be Viking Valhalla, which is hosted in Burnaby by Burnaby North. It's another junior-senior team in the high school division, and once the teams are a little bit more experienced, it's going to be a very exciting event for everybody.
When does club season start?
Club season starts, tryouts are starting in the beginning of May, and then club season lasts all the way to the end of August.
It should be a fun season upcoming for the club season as well.
Yes, especially because Nationals is being hosted here.
Long huck thrown to the end zone, and it is caught as there's still some space to work with for Point Grey. Drop pass gets through at the near sideline. A flip up into the end zone, and that is incomplete. And yes, to your point, Nationals for the club division is being hosted here. I know they were in Edmonton last year. And we had the club provincials down here in Surrey, which was an incredible experience in its own right, getting to be a part of that.
Yeah, a lot of exciting ultimate being held in BC this year, and this year's going to hold a lot more as well.
And that pass there is thwarted. Incomplete pass ends up back at center line. We'll take a look at the replay right here. As you'll see, the forehand throw there thwarted down by the Point Grey players as we have less than 2 minutes remaining here on the count.
Looks like to be Point Grey disc, and back into the hands of Point Grey's number 28, who has been quarterbacking this D-line offense here.
I see number 14 having a well-deserved lunch as we speak on the sidelines. And he has been incredible.
And food in the mouth, and he's being asked to sub onto the field.
Yeah, so it does seem we had a injury on the play. So number 14 will come back onto the field. He's still trying to finish his lunch here.
And I believe he just swallowed it. Oh, still
Oh,
going.
no, still going.
Oh, and there he goes.
And now he'll have a chance to get to the end zone. Oh, almost a chance there for him to get to the end zone and score. What a story that would be.
And I think he's still chewing.
Well, they tell you, when you're growing up, always chew your food before you swallow. It's healthier that way for sure. As we'll see the Point Greyhounds take possession upfield. Disc will come back down the near side as it's thrown. The Hounds looking to just move the disc upfield. Great passing there completed as number 23 will take it. She'll move it to number 43. And now a chance towards the end zone, and that is incomplete. So Burnaby South will now take possession of the disc as we approach the end of our hard cap time here. Of course, they'll now play till the next point.
And because the score cap is too big, this, I believe, will be the last point for both teams.
A long throw there. What a catch by number 18. As he'll move it. Try and move it on the drop pass. Stall count getting up there. The pass is complete at the far side. Good throw on the forehand, and that is incomplete.
Good vision there by number 1 to see the open field there, but number 14 just not quite in the position to secure that grab. And back into Point Grey hands.
So Point Grey will now take back possession here of the disc, as it'll come back now to the end zone. Of course, the hard cap horn has sounded, so we're playing till next point here. Disc is thrown back upfield, ends up back out now to the far side. Here's number 28. A long huck thrown all the way down to the other end, and that is incomplete. And you can tell, Justin, both teams are electing to go for the long huck here, trying to put an end to this one.
Yes, both teams do just want this game to be finished right now. The result at this point, unfortunately, does not matter as the score is too wide, but keeping a good momentum for the next game is crucial for both these teams here.
And so Burnaby South will begin with possession here, trying to send it downfield. A long huck thrown up to the midfield, and that is incomplete. And again, as we talked about, both teams just attempting for the long hucks there to try and put an end to this one. Both incomplete on their opportunities, though.
We see 43 from Point Grey making a great undercut, but just off the hands and back into Burnaby South.
And swatted away, so it is going to be Burnaby South disc here. And Point Grey will be back on defense. So number 1 left all alone, just marked by the one defender, that being number 28. As he'll go to the forehand, completes the clap catch. A left-handed pass sends up through the throw there. Here's 18 back for number 1. Number 1 of Burnaby South fakes the forehand. Now goes to with the right hand, and that is caught. Number 14 ends up scoring the last point here for Burnaby South. And Point Grey will be treated as the winning team here, as they will move on and move up in the bracket, as Point Grey walks away with a win here in the semifinals, and they have punched their ticket to the matchup taking place. I believe they have punched their ticket to the final.
Yeah, that is correct.
So they will play the winner of Bing and Hamber. We have yet to see who the winner of that matchup is going to be. That is because my internet stopped working, so we'll see if we can get a refresher here. And then by the looks of it, we still don't have a result here of Bing and Hamber, but Point Grey punches their ticket to the final, and Burnaby South's game day is not over as of yet. They will still play at 2:30 as well in the battle for third place. So for this Burnaby South team, it would still be a big win for them to be able to walk away with a third place win. Your overall thoughts on this matchup here, Justin?
Yeah, a lot of turnovers, but a lot of high energy and a lot of grit and grind from a lot of these players. It's tough to play, a 75-minute game, and some of these players never took subs. So hold your head high and be proud of the way you played today.
This was an incredible game to broadcast. We appreciate everyone tuning in. We had Matthew doing the great work on camera. Theo in the producer's chair. Joining me on color was Mr. Justin Luna, and this is your Garage Laldi saying so long from Richmond. We shall remind you that this has been the 2026 Rain Invite presented by Vancouver Ultimate. Start playing today at VUL.ca. Special thanks to VC Ultimate and the City of Richmond for helping make today happen. We'll talk to you again at 1:30, I believe. No, 1 o'clock for the Senior A semifinals as we bring you a matchup between Burnaby South and Handsworth. Welcome to South Arm Park in Richmond, British Columbia, on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territories of the Musqueam peoples. You're watching the 2026 Rain Invite presented by Vancouver Ultimate Garage Lily with the call joined alongside Justin Luna, Theo in the producer's chair, Matthew on camera. As we bring you the Senior A semifinal matchup, our first Senior A matchup of the day as Burnaby South takes on Handsworth. And there is the opening pull. Oh, look at that. Look at the power on that. Goes all the way to the end zone as Burnaby South will take possession of the disc. It's moved back out to the near side. As it'll come back now past the left. Burnaby South, great movement of the disc back down to the near side. Number 5 will move that one back out to his left wing. Played back past the far sideline. A bit of a give and go there as Burnaby South will look to move up the disc with speed. Now past the near side. Number 6 will take it. She'll try and move it back. Looking for an open lane. She'll drop it back to number 5. It's worked across to number 8. Now out to the far side once again. The fake on the forehand. The pass ends up through number 8. Whoa, what a layout catch by number 5. Incredible layout there. He'll move it back out to the near side. Burnaby South trying to move upfield, but the defense of Handsworth is keeping them back. As that will be sent back to number 8. He'll move it across out to the far side. The disc hasn't touched the ground yet in the opening couple minutes of this one, as it will be back with Burnaby South. They'll look to move it across. A great under thrown back out to the far side. Burnaby South still looking to be fast and trying to move the disc back down the other way. Throw comes into the forehand. Out to the near sideline. They'll still try and find an open lane. It's flipped up high. As a long throw there ends up through. Great bit of a drop pass there. It'll come back out now to the near side. A forehand thrown back to the backhand out to the far side once again. Past the center line. A swing pass out to the near side for number 5. 5 will move it back out to the far side for 4. Out to the far side once again is possession of the disc. Great flip pass to number 5 as he's marked up closely by number 14 of Handsworth. Burnaby South moving the disc in rapid fire succession here. It's moved back out to the far side. Here is number 5. 5 moves it out now past to the far side once again. Goes now to the forehand. Number 5 takes possession. Goes now to the backhand. Moves the disc back out to the far side. Dropped back out now to the near side once again. Number 5 will drop it back to number 8. 8 to the near side, and that goes down as the disc will be touching the ground for the first time in the game there. This gives me a chance to bring in the color voice of this broadcast, Mr. Justin Luna. Justin, how are you?
I'm doing great. This has been a very fast-paced game already, a little bit different from the junior side, but people on the field know what they're doing, and a big huck comes out.
A big huck down the other way, and it's intercepted. And, boy, I can count on my hands the amount of times the disc has touched the ground so far, just once. Well, these two teams certainly know how to move the disc. As we'll see Burnaby South bring it back out to the near side. Number 6, she faked the pass. Now is going to give it back out to the near side once again. Number 8 will move it back out to number 5. 5 with the swing pass to number 4. Burnaby South's number 4 moves it up to number 10. As he'll look for an open lane back to 5. 5 for 4. 4 swings it back out to number 8. Great swing pass out to the near side for number 6. She'll fake the pass and then she'll take it. Here's number 5. 5 calls for help. Gets the pass across to number 8, back to number 4. 4 now drops it back to number 5. Great pass down the field, down the middle. Number 10 to number 5, the trailer. 5 drop pass to number 10. 10 looks for an open lane. Out to the near side, number 5. 5 for number 4. The intensity is palpable of this matchup here so far. Number 4 back for number 5. 5 being watched closely. Able to get the pass across. Number 4 out to number 6. Number 4 for number 6. As she'll get the pass across. Out to the near side. Here's number 5. Pass down the middle. Bit of a give and go there with number 10, who gets it right back. 10 flips it forward to 5. 5 out to the near side to number 8. 8 moves that one back to number 5. Another flip throw ends up complete. Here's number 4 to number 8. 8 fakes the pass and now takes the pass to number 4, thrown right towards the end zone. It's flipped forward now to number 4. Going back to the forehands, number 5. Sends it back to number 8. 8 will move that one back to number 5. We'll throw it across out to number 4. At the far sideline for number 5. 5 to number 4, who was calling for it. 4 back for 5. The swing pass gets through. 5 goes to the forehand. Drops it back out to number 8. Now to number 10 at the near sideline. Backhand pass to number 5. Back to number 10. 10 for number 5. Swing pass gets through. Here's a chance towards the end zone, and that is incomplete. But what passing here. What intensity in this semifinal matchup so far.
And Hansworth tips it right back, but Burnaby South has to earn those yards back, and Hansworth is electing to stay in this zone all the way throughout the end zone set here. So number 14 definitely tired, but Hansworth is getting good defensive stops here.
Of course, these two teams are playing for the right to play Hamber in the final. Hamber, of course, moves on because Vancouver Technical School forfeited the semifinal matchup. So they will move on to the winner of this will play Hamber in what should be an incredible final matchup in the Senior A division. And with the pace that these two teams are playing at so far, it is certainly a toss-up. Disc will come back out, back to number 5. Moved across out to the far side. Here's number 6. She'll move it back to number 5 of Burnaby. As Burnaby South moving the disc fairly well here. 8 moves it for number 10 to number 4.
Look at Christina.
Number 4 has possession. Will try and get it across. Gets it across to number 8 for number 4. 4 flips that one back out. Swing pass gets through to number 10. And a swing pass back out of the near side for number 8. Back for number 10. Number 10 will move that one over to number 4. 4 flips it on the forehand. Gets through to number 5. 5 throws it up ahead, and that is incomplete. Hansworth with another turnover, forced a long huck heading down the other way. Number 2 is wide, all open. He'll look to receive it, but that goes out of play. It is incomplete.
And we're already seeing different play styles between these two teams here. We got Hansworth, who is very willing to just huck it down the field, as well as we have Burnaby South, who is very patient, willing to use as many passes as it takes to get up the field as well. But right now, it's anyone's ball game. It's still 0-0 on the game.
Burnaby South taking on Hansworth here in this semifinal matchup. The winner of this will play Hamber. And of course, as everyone knows, these games are played till 13 points. No win by 2 here. Hard caps at the 75-minute mark. And what happens at the hard cap, as we know, the current point is finished, and then the game does come to an end as Burnaby South has possession. Number 4 will get it back out. Moved across, flying up in the air was number 8 to complete the pass. It ends up back out of the far sideline. A bit of a give and go there. Swing pass down the middle. Ends up back out now to the near side. As Burnaby South will move the disc upfield. Number 10 down the middle for number 5. The centering pass gets through. Here's number 10. Swings it back out for number 5. 5 fakes the pass, gets it across to number 8 for number 5. Back out to number 10. 10 will move it up. One-handed catch by 5. He'll throw it to the end zone, and that is caught. Number 6 of Burnaby South goes to the end zone. She's able to complete the catch. And Burnaby South strike first in this semifinal matchup.
Yeah, excellent patience by this Burnaby South zone offense to just work it through. A lot of the times you'll see them wanting to complete it in 1 or 2 passes, and when they did make that risky throw, it was a turnover, but making that small adjustment and just going for the 100% pass all the time really worked out for them.
And of course, as we know in this tournament specifically, when it comes to gender matching, the teams will flip to choose the starting ratio. Of course, there's going to be alternates every few points, whether it be the 1-3, the 4-5, and in that case, though, I think the specific rule that I like is the puller has to match the 4-player group.
Yes.
And I think with that, you can say, Justin, that you'll see different matchups depending on the gender ratio, and sometimes that can really impact strategy.
Yeah, especially in the senior division when zone is allowed. There are specific zones that highlight more when there are 4 female matching players on the field versus 3. So we could see Delt or Hansworth having putting on a cup zone right there, and let's see if they change it up when the gender flips.
So, of course, Burnaby South talking to their coaching staff. Van Hansworth doing the same as well. I think what's going to be interesting to see here is how much time will there be of the coaching staff talking to their players between points. We've seen some where the coaching staff didn't even need to talk to the players. We've seen one where the coaching staff likes to utilize the full 90 seconds to talk to the players. Burnaby South is all good to go. Looks like Hansworth will be the same.
This will be Hansworth's first time using their O-line here, so let's see how they play, and let's see what sort of defensive set that Burnaby South uses.
Here we go. There's the pull. Ends up down onto the field as Hansworth will look to take possession here. As the throw comes out, back out. Here's a long huck back down the other way, and that is incomplete. See both players trying to use their bodies there as number 7 and number 25. We'll take a look at the replay right here. A long huck heading downfield, and both of them trying to collide into one another, utilizing the body.
And a little bit of talking between number 10 and the Hansworth sideline there. Maybe a little bit of chippiness coming in already.
Gamesmanship. I love it. That is all part of the game at the end of the day. As we'll see Burnaby South now take possession. Number 5 will move that one back out to the near side. 5. Here's Burnaby South at their own end zone. Number 20 moves that one back out down to the far corner. Moved back out to number 20. As you'll see Burnaby South here getting set to move the disc well, working from the far corner. Credit to the defense of the Hansworth team, as the Royals have done a great job defensively on the side of the disc. They're following along. Wherever Burnaby South moves the disc, you'll always see Hansworth ready and willing. As the Royals on the far side.
Yeah, this Hansworth zone is doing a really excellent job, but right now it seems that the Rebels are sort of countering the zone. They are very patient with the disc, and the longer that this Royals defense or O-line has to play defense, the more tired they're going to get. And this sort of just counters out the zone that they're trying to implement.
It's a matchup of the Rebels and the Royals. In the Western Hockey League, this would be a matchup between Red Deer and Victoria.
Oh, that's a fun fact.
As the disc is now played upfield, and that is settled back down.
And just playing a bit too fast there. They had the patience and they worked it through. They just need to slow it down a bit and secure those what should be easy passes for this Rebel squad.
Long huck heading down the other way, and that is intercepted. As a great grab there by Burnaby South's number 6, I believe. She was able to force the turnover. Long huck heading down the other way. This one has a chance at the end zone, and that is incomplete. A great interception there by the Royals. Back and forth we go. Disc comes out now to the far side. And I talked about this last matchup too, Justin. As we move up the bracket here, expect these games to be a lot more tightly contested matchups. And we're certainly seeing that with this one so far as we approach about 15 minutes elapsed in the matchup.
Seems that was a foul called and uncontested, so back in Hansworth hands. And back to Burnaby South Rebels now.
So the Rebels will take over here with a chance to capitalize on the break point. As the disc is swung back out to the near side. Number 6 looking to find an open lane. She'll drop it back out to number 5. 5 to number 10. Moves it back to number 6, back for number 10. 10 looking for an opening. Drops the disc back out now to the far side. They'll move it back out to the far corner. Here's number 20 for Burnaby South to number 5. Here's number 10. Moves it back out to the near side. 10 looking for an open lane. Instead has to utilize the drop pass. Gets the drop pass from number 5. 5 swings that one over out to the far side. Here's number 20. Now with number 5. 5 looking to find an open lane, drops that one back out to number 10. 10 fakes, and now he'll take. Here's number 5 out to the far side to number 20. And now we have a foul called here, perhaps. No, they're going to keep on playing. They're going to play on. As the disc ends up back out now to the far side.
We're seeing a lot of heavy lifting coming from the 3 Burnaby South Rebel handlers right now, and one pass sort of breaks it open, and a huck goes up.
Number 20 with the huck. It will go up, and that is incomplete. So great passing, but I think credit to the defense here, Justin.
Hansworth hasn't had much luck in stringing together a couple passes, but they have been hucking it well, and if they can get one big one all the way to the end zone and come down with it, the game just evens up just like that.
Our 4th matchup of 6 on our broadcast schedule here today. As you see that disc thrown out of the sideline. And of course, our next 2 matchups are both final matchups, the junior final and the senior A final. So teams playing for the championships.
And some of these players on the Burnaby South team have played Dino before, and some of these players on the Hansworth team have played Canyon. So definitely a little bit of bad blood between these 2 teams, both having competitive matches in the club scene and now continuing over onto the school season.
Here's number 5. We'll move that one cross field as it'll end up through back with number 20. 20 swings it out to number 5 at the near side. We'll look to drop that one back to number 10, flips it forward. Back for number 7 to number 10. As at the near side, they will move the disc back up. Number 5 looking to get started here. I think we have a foul contest on the play. And we'll await the resumption of the game. Instead, they'll flip it back to the near side corner. We'll see what's going on. So number 5 will take possession of the disc, moves it back out.
Oh,
now to the near side, but that goes out of bounds. Falls into the Burnaby South huddle area. What a layout catch by number 20. Keeps the play alive here for Burnaby South. Here's 20.
Excellent play by number 5, Jaden McCready there. Disc is going out of bounds. He jumps from inbounds, tosses it back out before he lands, and that's a completed pass, and that's good.
Number 20 will utilize the left hand, and that is complete, but it ended up going out of the line as it'll be another interception back the way of Burnaby South. Here's number 10. We'll drop that one back out, and the layout catch is incomplete there. Hansworth will take over. So the Royals will take over possession here as number 1 will swing it over out to the far side. And he'll look to get the swing across, and the break point also important there as well. And you'll see the Royals come back out to the near side, moves it up the field, flipped back on the drop pass to number 1. 1-0 the score. Burnaby South leads Hansworth here in this one, as the catch there is in, or not past the end zone line there. Flipped one more time, and that will be the point, I believe. Or no, it's going to be Burnaby South possession, as the point will be incomplete. So I'm not sure by the looks of it if Burnaby South will get possession back, but they may just end up counting the point here. I think it will count. There was some confusion going on at the near side corner to see if it was in or not, rather the foot placement there, but it looks like that is going to be a good score, and Hansworth has tied the game at 1.
Yeah, a good thing about this Hansworth offense is they are willing to huck it deep, and if they happen to not complete it and they do get a short field turn, they're able to just play it nice and quick. But this Burnaby South offense is now getting a little bit tired. They've ran the same 7, 8 players on through the field, and it's definitely starting to show in their legs.
And of course, we talked about the rule changes. Of course, zone defense allowed in senior divisions. Foot blocks are allowed in senior divisions as well. And I think another interesting fact about this sport is, especially at the school level, the players have to represent their own school. There aren't any pickups allowed. And I mean, safe to say, Justin, these are true school teams. No outside additions, just built-in chemistry with all of these players.
Yes, we're seeing a lot of chemistry, especially from both sides of the field. These Burnaby South Rebel handlers are working together excellently, and then the Handsworth receivers are going deep for their Handsworth handlers. So, being able to just have that trust that if your player is going deep, you can expect the disc to come up on both ends of the field.
And of course, early on in the tournament, at least the point differential definitely playing a factor. As coming into this one, we take a look at these teams in the round robin, the pool play. Burnaby South defeated McMath by a 12-2 score. They defeated Boyd by a 10-4 score. And, we take a look at this Handsworth team. They defeated McRoberts by a 13-1 score, defeated Point Grey by a 13-6 score, and defeated Semiahmoo by an 11-4 score. So they were busy in their own right, were, the Handsworth Royals. As there is the huck, or the pull, I should say, back for Burnaby South. Dropped back, swung back out now to the near side, as the disc will end up into the hands of Burnaby South. They are moving it upfield pretty well here. 10 will move that one over out to the far side, back for 10. Here's number 10 of Burnaby South. We'll drop it back out now to the near side. Moved over out to the far side. Number 10 will take possession. Dropped back out now to the near side. As they'll look for the swing pass, or the short pass up ahead.
We're seeing 10 and 5 do a lot of the heavy lifting right now for this Burnaby South offense. I would love to see them swing the disc a bit more and get the other players involved. They are currently playing like a 2-on-4 situation, which is really difficult, and even for the best players, it is just better to utilize more than less.
Of course, Burnaby South finishing top of the A division, and Handsworth finishing at the top of the B division. And for Burnaby South, perhaps a bit of an advantage because they only had to play 2 games in the round robin as opposed to Handsworth playing 3.
Yes, maybe that one less game is playing a bit of an advantage right now. They have been cycling the same 6 to 8 players, and they do seem pretty gassed right now, but they're still completing passes and keeping it in their possession.
Disc will end up back out now to the near side. At the sideline, the Royals watching across. It ends up back here with number 10. I'll move it over out down to the far side. Good swing pass out to the near side here for number 5. As Handsworth is keeping Burnaby South hemmed into their own end of the field, not allowing them to really move upfield and get the offense set the way they want to here. You can see, look at the feisty defense here by Handsworth. The Royals all over the field. It'll come back out now to the far side. Long pass attempt there, and that ends up being sent down to the ground. It's an interception. Handsworth will take over thanks to their feisty defense.
And it seems that Handsworth is keying in on number 5 of Burnaby South, Jaden McCready. It seems that they're playing a 3-2-1 where all 6 players are playing a zone except for number 5, who is getting man marked right now.
Burnaby South having defeated VCLFA earlier today. We have the disc back out onto the field. It looks like it's going to be Handsworth possession.
Contested strip call, so back into the hands of the original thrower.
13-4 was the win for Handsworth over Churchill. Earlier today in their matchup, we saw Handsworth playing on field 6.
Now with these turnovers that Handsworth is having, I would love to see Burnaby South do exactly that, but a bit faster. You cannot let Handsworth set up their zone, and every single time Handsworth sets up their zone, they are not able to get that many yards going down the field. They need to play like Delta was earlier in the day, playing fast and using turnovers to their advantage.
So Handsworth will have possession now. The pivot foot has been established. It's moved over out to the far side.
Seems that another foul is called right now on the Delta player.
And so the disc will indeed be at the far sideline.
Uncontested foul call, so it goes into the hands of the target receiver, which is number 21 on Handsworth.
Handsworth will take possession. They'll move the disc back to center field. Here's number 13, long huck now. He'll try and throw it in the end zone. This one's got a chance, and it is caught! out of nowhere, Mr. Big and Tall slides into the end zone, completes the catch, and Hansworth is on the board.
Can teach height, and that's a great showcase of that there.
I mean, what an effort there. Let's take a look at the replay right here. As the one pass forward, the good centering pass, and then the huck right into the end zone. And out of nowhere, that's number 13 completing the pass. Great effort to get back and receive that pass there, and Hansworth has tied this one up at 1.
Maybe not quite the intended receiver there, but just getting into the fray. You see the disc in the air, just having the energy to go up and make a play on it as well is crucial for these two teams right now.
Did you expect this game to be a 1-1 tie at this point here, Justin?
Honestly, no, I didn't. They were playing super fast in the beginning, and I was expecting, Burnaby South to make a couple more shots through the zone or Hansworth to make a couple deep shots, but this isn't a falter on any of the team's offenses right now. Both teams are just playing really excellent team defense.
And I think that's a credit to the coaching staff as well, installing that defensive mindset within these teams. And as we know, they are playing to play in the first place, the gold medal game against Hamber. Aaron Camber secondary, who automatically clinched their bye to the final with a forfeit from Van Tech. And I'm sure that Van Tech had their reasons behind forfeiting, although we don't know what the reasoning was.
Yeah, pretty weird to forfeit in the semifinals, but keeping our eyes on this game here, we do have the Burnaby South Rebels still playing the same 7 to 8 players right now, and they are definitely getting more tired, and their legs aren't just moving as fast anymore.
The Rebels will look to move the disc upfield. We have a contest here.
I think a foul call or a travel call.
Travel call, I believe, was the contest. They'll agree to play on. As number 4 will drop that one back.
And our first time seeing number 4 on the field here, but back into the steady hands of number 5 and number 10 on Burnaby South.
5 will move it back for 10. Swing pass back for 5, gets through. There's 4. First time in a while that 4 has returned back to the field. Here's 20. Number 20 for Burnaby South moves it back out to the far side of the field. Good swing pass back to number 20. He'll move it back out to number 4. A bit of a short pass up ahead, gets through. 4 calling for it back. Gets possession back. He'll drop it back out to 5. 5 will move it for 20. 20 for 5. 5 back for 4. 4 will move it back to 5. 5 back for 4. 4 steps back to number 20. 4 drops it back to 20. Number 20 back for number 4. Moves it back out now to the near side. As 5 will drop it back here to number 20. Centering pass gets through. Number 20 for 5 down on one knee. Completes the pass. Moves it back for number 20. 20 for number 5. 5 for number 20. Fakes the pass with the left hand. Moves it back for number 5. Quick pass back to number 20. Good flip forward back for number 5. He'll swing it out to the far sideline. Here's number 20. Moves it back out to the near side. Settled down here by number 4.
And we're seeing number 14 on Hansworth, who is the rabbit in the zone, so he has to follow the disc and be the mark and count the stalls. He is working his tail off right now, running around the field.
Near the end zone. Here's number 9. 9 swings it back out to the far side. Number 5 takes that one back, drops it back for number 20. Will go to the left hand, comes back to number 20. Here's 5 to 20. Last attempt to 4, and a rare miscommunication there from Burnaby South as they turn the disc over. Here's number 12 for Hansworth. He'll go for the huck, heading down the other way, and that is caught. As number 14 will take possession, he'll look for a flip into the offensive end zone. Looking for an open lane, flips that one forward, and that is incomplete. Hansworth will want that one back. What a key opportunity for them to establish a lead, but ultimately come up short.
That might have been a pivotal moment in the game there that could have changed the momentum. That would have been a Handsworth break after a very long point, and that could have definitely dampened the spirits of the Rebels here.
So it'll stay possession here with the Burnaby South Rebels as they'll look to work back upfield. The drop pass back gets through as it'll come back out now to the near side. Play settled back down. Moved across out to the far wall. It's flipped forward. Here's number 4. Drops it back out to the far side. Number 5 has possession back. Moves it across out to the far side. Both teams calling for the open lane. It comes back to number 4. He'll move it back out to 5. Back for 4. 4 has possession. Swing pass to the center for 5. 5 back for number 4. As he'll look to move that one upfield. 4 back for this one. Drops it out to the near side to number 8. 8 moves that one back for number 5. As Burnaby South trying to move the disc upfield. It's flipped forward to number 8. As he fell down onto the field, still has possession of the disc.
I believe they're calling a down.
Yeah, he's saying that his knees only went down, that the disc still stayed up. But Handsworth is contesting that. They'll look to play on here as 4 drops it back. He'll move it to 8, back for 4. Completes the one-handed catch, fakes the pass. Drops it off to 8, back for 4. 4, drop feed to 20, now to 5. 4 times 5 does equal 20. 5 with the fake, bit of gamesmanship there. 20. Moves it back out now to the near side. Back for 5. Moves it across out to the far wall. Here's 20. Goes forward. Now for 8. Moves that one back out now to the near side. Moves it back across. Out to the far side, and we do have the stoppage of play there as 42-10 now remaining in the clock. And, well, a big-time point there. And you talked about it being a pivotal moment, the no score for Handsworth there. Looking back on it now, certainly a turning point in the game.
Yeah, we're seeing a very mature offense by the Burnaby South team here. Right now, they're moving the disc well and they're keeping possession. What I would love to see a bit more is them utilizing their mids, able to get a couple more cheeky shots into the deep end of the field and able to just punch it through like that right now. It just does seem like they are running it through the same 4 players. If they get a couple more people involved, I think they would have better results overall. But the Handsworth defense has been doing an excellent job of sort of just stagnating everything, making them work for it. The Burnaby South Rebels have been playing the same 6 to 8 people, and now
I believe we are at halftime. If I'm not mistaken, 1-1 the score, 41-15 and counting remaining on the clock. Unless I'm mistaken, no, it seems like we will play on here by the looks of it. And everyone will return to their end.
a very low-scoring game right now, but not because of the offense, but just they're not willing to take very risky shots. So the defense is doing an excellent job right now of keeping things slow and letting the players play out.
So correct me if I'm wrong, Justin. Burnaby has taken the 2-1 lead.
That is correct. Yes, they have scored, so it is 2-1 for Burnaby South right now, and they are pulling down to Handsworth. Burnaby South still playing the same 8 players, so let's see how this defensive point will affect their legs.
Well, the weather's certainly warming up just a bit here, and for us at least, that's affecting us. We've been here since the early morning where it was pretty cold. The breeze was going, but now you can see the sun partly shining out. I know it's a pretty cloudy day here in Richmond, BC, but when you have a little bit of a little ray of sunshine, that helps.
Yes, I have now taken off my jacket. I was wearing a puffer jacket in the morning, but it is getting a little bit warmer, and I'm sure the players love to play a little bit more in the sun rather than in the drizzle or the rain.
We shall take the chance to remind you of the London Pub, who are proud supporters of this week's tournament. London Pub is Main Street's go-to spot for sports, bar games, and team hangouts. Check them out at londonpubvan.com. Also, a pull now. Handsworth will receive. Oh, what a pull there. That goes right into the end zone. You can tell those Burnaby hands have power.
Yeah, they may not be the tallest on the field, but they sure can throw.
Here's 13 for the Royals. He'll chop that one back out to the near side.
Closer.
As the disc is moved upfield, ends up back along the far side, and what a catch with the one hand, flying up like Superman. 13 looks for an open lane, flips it forward. It's caught by number 2 as he'll look to move it across. 2 drops it up to 13.
And I believe number 4 is calling a stall down, so it took too long with the disc in their hands, and they're definitely going to have discussion about that.
Yeah, he seems to be pretty adamant on the stall down, and I think they'll agree to disagree perhaps here.
Contested stall, going back down to stall 8, and disc is tapped in.
So the disc is tapped in. It's thrown now forward to the end zone, and that is incomplete. A great defensive play there by Burnaby South, getting in the passing lane and not allowing Handsworth to complete the pass.
I believe a foul has been called there by the Handsworth player. Maybe a little bit too much body contact by the Rebels player. Number 10 in disbelief that he even touched number 1-3, but we'll see what the result is, and just sort of what's been going on with the history between these two teams. It's probably going to be a contested foul and back to the thrower.
Yeah, they're still discussing, still going at it. Number 10 is pretty strong standing on his case. He believes that there was no contact, but I think in this case, as you made mention, it will be returned to thrower.
Yeah, contested. So stall count goes to the original stall count and back in Handsworth hands.
So 13 will tap it in. He'll look to get the pass across. Goes to the forehand. That is incomplete. So the disc will now return to the Burnaby South Rebels with their chance on offense to try and extend their lead.
And Handsworth still putting on that zone that they've been running the entire game. It's really slowing down the game a lot, but Burnaby South has been doing a really excellent job of working it through. So I wonder if Royals are going to make any bit of an adjustment change, maybe go switch to person D, or if they're going to try to stick with the zone.
Disc ends up back out now to the far side. Near corner. Moved across. Out to the far side once again. As Burnaby South will look to move the disc upfield, comes back out to the near sideline. We are approaching halftime here. As the disc ends up back out to the far side, number 9 unable to complete the pass. As this one will now end up at the far sideline. And it will be Royals disc. So you see number 13 there preparing to bring it back in play. It's tapped back in play. He'll look for an open lane. Goes to the forehand, a great catch and a score. As 13 for the Royals is able to get to the end zone, and Handsworth has tied the game up at 2.
Yeah, let's see if we can get a replay of that. A couple hard steps under, gets the defender on the heels, and then just 3 or 4 hard steps going deep, and that's an easy pass to an open receiver. In these long points, you just have to have that presence of mind to still make hard cuts even when you've been playing for 10 minutes almost.
And what a pass there, and a great pass, great angle on the pass there, which is able to get through for the reception with 2 hands, and it is 2-2 between Handsworth and Burnaby South as this game is tied. Burnaby South will prepare their team for the pull, and Handsworth will do the same as well. And one thing with this Handsworth team, we've seen the entire team goes out onto the field, not just the players that are assigned to play on the next point.
Yeah, it keeps everybody a little bit more engaged so they all of them know the team plan. It just helps with team cohesion and unity. And we're going to see this Handsworth O-line that's been, playing pretty fast, and because Burnaby South is playing person defense, Handsworth is able to use their height and their athleticism to their advantage, letting big throws go up and letting their big receivers come down with them.
2-2 time between Handsworth and Burnaby South. As we shall see the pull here. Burnaby South with the disc, or Handsworth with the disc. Burnaby South ready to receive. Here comes the pull.
Oh.
And that one's aiming right towards our broadcast location, ends up to the right of our camera. And the Burnaby South Rebels will prepare for the offensive opportunity.
Back into the hands of number 5, Jaden McCready, who has been on for every single point so far. So 40 minutes of straight action for number 5 here.
Do you know him outside of Burnaby South?
Oh, I actually coached him when he was 13, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Time flies.
I know he's not going to like this, but he has not grown one bit. But he has grown a lot as a Frisbee player, which I think he cares a bit more about, hopefully.
4 with the pass back to 5, back for 4. 4 moves it up. Here's number 10 for Burnaby South, a contest here. And they'll return to sender.
Travel call on number 4, and I just have to agree with that one there.
Number 10 back for number 4. 4 drops that one back. Swing pass out to the far side. As it's dropped back to number 4. 4 seems to be the primary handler for the Burnaby South Rebels on this point. At least a long huck heading towards the end zone. This one's got a chance, and it is incomplete.
We can see the Handsworth coach is starting to key in on number 5 now and just making sure he doesn't get the disc, and it seems to be working. Handsworth is generating the turnovers now, and we're going to see their O-line sort of put in work right now.
And so Handsworth's O-line, as you made mention, Justin, gets a chance to go to work. Strong game so far from both of these sides. Right to play the final, as that is incomplete.
Great poach block by number 5, sort of just getting off his defender and making a play, and a big huck goes up.
A long huck goes up. That's to the end zone. It is caught as number 10 will boot the disc.
Number 5 has some words to say right now. He is hyped up.
Yeah, he is hyped up, and well, I did see him, number 10, boot the disc there. Had this be the NBA, he'd probably get a technical foul or 2. And, of course, this is a self-officiated game, so not much discipline that way there. But for Burnaby South, adding on to their lead, they now lead 3-1.
Yeah, not only a technical foul, but a $5,000 fine. And, you know, they should pay a $5,000 fine to the trick shot booth right now.
3-2 the score as Burnaby South leads Handsworth. And with that, I believe we should be heading towards halftime. But then again, we are well past the halftime allocated time as well.
Perhaps my role as a commentator and also a tournament director will let them know on the next point. But they should be knowing the rules themselves. But unfortunately, even at the semifinals in the senior division, it is unclear.
So we shall see the
Did we take the time out? Sorry. Hey Steve, did we take time out?
we shall see Handsworth ready to receive on the pull. Teams are looking to get their offenses set.
And I do believe after this point it will be halftime, unless this point lasts until the end of the game, which I don't think it will, but
You never know with how closely contested this game has been. It's a 3-1 or 3-2 score.
it looks like a pick has been called, so number 5 was not able to catch up to his defender, so he just makes up the ground and play continues.
And so the disc will end up all the way out to the far side. A long throw, a huck there, but that won't get through. And here's a huck heading all the way down towards the end zone. Number 5 racing for it, and that is caught. But an incredible catch there from number 5. They're going to call it a score, and Burnaby South is up 4-2.
And just like that, they were able to take advantage of a very tired Handsworth defense and just running down to the end zone. A huck goes up by number 20, and number 5 was able to come down with it.
Let's take a look at the replay right here. Just an incredible effort there on the Hawk. A heave of a throw heading down the other way, but credit to number 5 there, racing down, able to get the pass or receive the pass across, and that'll take us to this 4-2 score. And we will step aside for a brief moment. 4-2 the score. More Ultimate action continues from the 2026 Rain Invite on TrickShotLive.com. Well, there's the poll to start off this second half as Handsworth will take possession of the disc. 4-2 the score for Burnaby South over the Handsworth Royals.
And Rebels with their own zone of their own.
Oh, what a catch with the one hand there. And then the underhand. An incredible catch. This disc is flipped all the way out to the near side and swatted away into the tent. And number 10 says no. He gave us a bit of a hand gesture there, too. Like the celebration off the spike.
And number 5, Jaden McCready, picking up the disc as per usual. Let's see what he does here.
And he gave you the wave-off celebration right in front of you. How about that? Maybe it's a direct message to you as former coach.
Come on, Jaden, you love me. You'll listen back to this. I know you will.
Number 10 knocks it back out now to the far side. Here's 4 off the swing pass, moves it forward out to number 5. 5 back for 10. 10 for 4. Here's 5. Has possession of the disc. 5 will swing that one back for 4.
Ooh.
4 moves it across out to the far side, back for 4.
A little bit of a journey there, but no call.
As the disc ends up getting through to number 5. Moved back across out to 8. 8 will move that one back out to the far side. Great swing pass, ends up forward, back for number 5. 5 flips it forward to number 10, who will drop it back to number 4. 4 flips it back across out to the far side for number 10. 10 knocks it back to number 5. 5 flips it out to the far side for number 4. As he'll move it out to number 5.
Rebels are doing a really good job keeping possession here, but they're getting the most yards when another...
Here's a huck down to deep end zone field, and that is a score for Burnaby South. 5-2 the lead now for the Rebels.
Seems that anytime the disc gets a little bit stagnant, they're willing to throw out that big looping huck, but they are a little bit more successful when they're getting it into the middle of the field.
Take a look at the replay right there. Great huck down to the end zone, and Burnaby South is up 5-2 with 22 minutes counting. And in a low-scoring affair like this, it seems like it's going to go to the hard cap time. Before we do get there, though, we shall remind you that Friction Gloves are designed to improve your throws and catches in any weather. Elevate your game at frictiongloves.com.
That was another break for the Burnaby South Rebels here, who are taking a lead, but Hansworth still, fighting back and clawing back. They do have the tools, and they're making big plays, but just got to keep that disc in bounds and let their athletes be athletes and let them jump high, run fast. I know they have it in them, and they can definitely start clawing back and make it a close game again.
As 5-2 the score, Hansworth trailing Burnaby South. 2 more games on our schedule. We shall remind you that coming up after this one, we will bring you the junior final at 2:30 local time, and then to wrap it up, the senior A final. Number 4, it will be Hamber taking on the winner of this matchup. And either way, I think it should be an incredible matchup, incredible 2 matchups at least for us to wrap up this Rain Invite tournament.
And then on the junior side, I believe it is Point Grey versus Hamber, so a rematch of that crossover game where Point Grey won by 1 point, so that's definitely going to be a very close game, and very excited for that one as well.
Yeah, you are correct. It was a 9-8 win for Point Grey over Hamber. A long huck there thrown back to the end zone, and that is complete.
And just not enough urgency to gain quick yards.
As number 5, the Royals, is able to get the pass across. Number 12 took a bit of a tumble. She's slow getting back up to her feet. Seemed wobbled there. As number 5 moves the disc across out to the far side corner. A long huck thrown back out near the sideline. Number 10 is incomplete.
Oh, and a foul called by number 20. But we're seeing very different play styles by these 2 teams. Burnaby South willing to...
Yeah, we see the replay there of that last collision there. But to your point, we're seeing different play styles between these 2 teams.
Yeah, Burnaby South willing to move it, be patient, and Hansworth is trying to out-athlete them. And right now, I think Burnaby South's strategy is working a bit better.
So it will be Burnaby South possession here as they'll take the disc back out to the near side. Number 20 will look to get a pass across. They'll flip it back out to number 8. Number 8 will move it across, swings it out to the far side of the field. Here's number 10. 10 back for 20. 20 drops it back out to the near side for number 6 or number 8. 8 looking for an opening, drops it back to 20 for 8. And as you can see, this defense of the Hansworth Royals causing the Burnaby South Rebels to go back to their end zone, and now they're able to force the turnover. A dangerous chance here for the Royals, and that is intercepted. And then a bit of a knee to the back there, as number 8 was not happy whatsoever, but it will be Burnaby South ball. A long huck heading across the field, and so close was number 10. He's calling for a foul, though.
Maybe a little bit of contact in the air there. We'll see what the discussion is.
He's calling for a check from behind.
And it seems that it's going to be uncontested. Or they're still discussing about it, but
as we can see there on the replay, there definitely was contact there.
my favorite part about juniors is that they'll always, mime out and act out the play, and it, funnily enough, goes all the way to the adults. So sometimes the acting skills get a bit better if they're able to imitate the moves that they just had. But it seems to be a fairly long discussion. I imagine it's going to be contested.
So the discussion seems to be ongoing here, and for Handsworth, down by 3 as we speak. Seems like we have come to a resolution, and the disc is going to go all the way back to the original handler. And think about how much space that is right there, Justin.
Yeah, they could have gained a lot of yards on that one, but back into the hands of number 5 and back into that zone offense for Burnaby South.
So Burnaby South will bring the disc in. A great huck there, and it's caught. Great movement of the disc upfield. 8 will drop it back for 5, now to the far side. 20 back for number 5. 5 watched closely by 10 of the Royals. 5, great pass there by 10, able to get the defender down to bite there, rather, as the disc will come back out to 20. 20 moves it across out to the far side. Disc is moved back to 8. 8 now to the near side for 5. 5 at the near sideline. We'll try and drop that one back out to the far side. Pass gets across for number 10. Moved back out to the near side. Here's number 5. 5 drops it out to the far side once again.
Great throw into space there. Just opens up the entire defense.
And 10 will look to work off of possession here. 20 has it. Moves it across out to the far side. Back for number 5. 5 now for number 10. 10 back out of the near side for number 20. As Burnaby South will look to move the disc upfield. 20 drops it back to number 10. Moved across out to the far side once again. Number 8 flips it forward to number 10. 10 back for number 20. 20, a short pass gets through here for number 10. 10 with the pass to 20, who receives it with the left hand. Sends that one back near the far sideline. Here's 20.
Now we're back at that same, timeout called by 20. Good choice, sort of recollect, but let's see what Burnaby South is going to do this time. Are they going to go for another sort of risky throw, a little bit of a short huck, or are they going to try to work it in nice and calm? History says that they're willing to, put it up and let their athletes make a play, but let's see if this timeout changes anything.
It's timeout called on the field. 5-2 the score for Burnaby South over Handsworth. We'll be back with more Ultimate action. You're watching the 2026 Rain Invite on TrickShotLive.com. Back to live action here as Burnaby South will take possession of the disc. It's moved across out to the near side. Drop pass gets through for 20. He'll swing it out to the near sideline, and that is a complete pass.
Why is there a cone on the field?
Great receive by number 10, and yes, that is a question. Why is there a cone on the field?
That cone is covering a sprinkler.
Number 20 moves it back out to the far side as the disc will end up back here with number 20. He'll move it across out to number 10. 10 at the near sideline. Pivots. Drops it back to 20. 20 swings it upfield. Out to the far side is number 8. Here's number 5. 5 throws it in the end zone. This one's got a chance, and it is incomplete. A great play there by the Handsworth defense. Getting in the lane. We'll take a look at the replay right here.
Yeah, Burnaby South's been doing that a lot, and this time Handsworth was able to key in on that one throw and get a D on their goal line.
And another swat away there, another block. And we will have Handsworth now take possession here of the disc, looking to capitalize on the break point. A long huck, sending that one downfield. This one is incomplete. Foul called here by Handsworth. And this will be contested. Hearing the dialogue between them, they're pointing the camera.
Don't point at me. I'm a commentator right now. I'm not a tournament director.
Yeah, we'll certainly have a look here on the replay there. As
very hotly contested. You know, they're still young, they're still teenagers, they don't quite have control over their emotions yet, but a little too much. A little too much. But why did they point us out is my question.
I think he was pointing out to the camera to say, can I have a look at the camera?
And an immediate turnover. So I'm sure the Burnaby South sideline is going to say something about that now.
Gamesmanship. That will certainly be the case here. As number 5 has possession. He'll move it back to number 20, back for number 5. Moved back across out to number 20.
And the coach of Handsworth not liking what's going on with his players right now. Hands on his head, but
not happy. As the disc is moved back out to the near side, number 5 will swing it across out to the near side, back for number 10.
And I'm sure number 20 on Burnaby South wants to score right now.
Yeah, 10 with a great pass to 5. That gets through. Ends up back with number 8. As he'll knock it forward out to the far side, number 5 gains possession. 5 will drop it back out down to the near side. Here's number 10. 10 has possession at the near side, swings that one across the field. As the one-handed throw is, the short pass is good. It ends up back with number 5. 5, the stall count certainly getting up there, has to drop it back to 20, back for 5. Bit of a give and go with those two. Swing pass comes out to the near side. 8 at center field, knocks it back to number 10, who will have possession of the disc. It's moved back out now to the near side. Here's number 8, back for number 20. 20, swing pass back for number 8. Moves it across out to the far side. Back for 5.
Now this Handsworth zone doing an excellent job of keeping them at bay and not letting them score. They've lost a couple yards now, and they're still keeping that zone on, and it's proving to be really effective in keeping the...
Oh, great pass there. Ends up to number 5 to the end zone, and that is caught. And the Burnaby South Rebels able to complete the pass there regardless. They're now up 6-2.
It seems that any single time I'm commenting something, the opposite happens. Handsworth was very patient in their defensive set, and then one player took a little bit of a risk, and that risk ended up being a goal for Burnaby South.
The commentator's curse, my friend. As your broadcasting career evolves, you will continue to learn that the commentator's curse is indeed a real thing.
Yes, I was a non-believer in the beginning of the day, but now I'm believing more and more.
Yeah, it's happened a couple of times for sure. But nonetheless, hey, you live and you learn, just like these players on the field as well, right? They're at that stage, especially at this level. They're at that stage where they're constantly living and learning each and every day. So they will continue to take those lessons that they learn here at least and try and apply them wherever their ultimate careers do take them. And you'll see both teams gathered here on the same side of the field. Not often do you see that.
Yeah, very rare. I believe a timeout has been called, but 6-2 for Burnaby South. And while the game's not over, the Royals do have to, pick up the pace a little bit, get a couple quick stops, and, punch it in very fast if they want a chance to come back in this game.
6-2 the score with 8:45 left to go here. And this will, the winner of this game, of course, faces off against Eric Hamber in the final. Of course, that will go down, I believe, at 4 o'clock local time. And we're still awaiting our chance to call the upcoming final. Hamber and I believe Point Grey, the junior final.
So Hamber appearing in both finals here is definitely really good for their program and their school.
You'd think there would be different schools with how many teams participate at these tournaments, but I think that's a testament to what Hamber has put together in terms of a program. I've only been to Eric Hamber once, and that was on a field trip back in grade 8 for a festival. There was a French festival going on there, and as part of my French class, we had to go there as a field trip, and it was a great time.
Yeah, I believe Eric Hamber has a French immersion program, so very big school. I know they did have a recent renovation, and anytime I drive by it looks very big and very nice and not as old as my old school, Point Grey.
As in the Senior B bracket, we're still awaiting the result of the game between Delta and Palmer, and also the result between Mosscrop and Bing to see who will play in the finals for the Senior B division. Of course, we're not doing that game, but we'll keep our viewers and listeners updated on what goes on. Should be a great Senior B final as well, especially considering the pace that Delta plays at.
Yes. Now I'm very interested to see what this Handsworth squad is going to do. They have been getting a little bit of a zone on them by this Burnaby South team, but if they're able to punch it through quick, they still have a chance in this game, and it's not over.
Here comes the pull, and not exactly the elevation perhaps they wanted on the pull there. Ends up at the sideline with about 6:35 remaining here at the hard cap time. Handsworth will take possession. Varying times coming from across the field. So we have 6:19 on our clock. As number 25 will take possession here for the Royals. She dropped it. Burnaby looking to take advantage here as they will try and turn on the Jets. But Handsworth now has had some time to set their defense. As possession will come back here with number 20. 20 will knock it back to number 5. He'll move it over to the far side. Here's 5. Number 5 fakes the pass. Knocks that one back out to the far sideline to number 5. Back for number 20. 20 will move it back out to number 10. Moves it across out to the far sideline. And Burnaby South a lot more calculated with their passes here. No need to rush anything if you're Burnaby South. Handsworth trying to lay the oncoming pressure here. Here's 20. Fakes the throw. Now does take the throw. 10 for 20. 20 knocks it back to 10 as the disc is moved back out to the near side. 5 with a bit of showmanship there. What a throw to the end zone, and that is caught. An incredible throw after a bit of showmanship, and Burnaby South has another on the board. It's 7-2.
A great throw by number 5 there, just seeing his open defender or open offensive player into the end zone and just pulling a nice hammer down into the space.
I mean, look at the showmanship right there. The fake and then the hammer throw.
Definitely having fun, and that's what Ultimate's all about, is just making sure you're having a good time on the field.
Well, for Burnaby South, all smiles as they look to clinch their spot in the Senior A final. currently up by a 7-2 score and 4:17 remaining in the hard cap time.
And while it is 7-2 for this Burnaby South team, this Handsworth team has a lot to look forward to. The season has just begun, and there's a lot of improvement to be had, and there's a very high possibility that they'll have a rematch in sectionals or provincials, and it's possible that they'll meet again, and the result of this game may be different from them.
Well, Handsworth will get to play Van Tech at 4 o'clock local time in the final, or the third place game. So still that to look forward to. Of course, shout out to all the other teams still in the bracket. Boyd, Semiahmoo, and Churchill, VCLFA as well. Not sure what that stands for, but
VCLFA is a combination between two private schools, Vancouver College. Yep, Vancouver College and Little Flower Academy. And
wow.
Yeah, because it's a co-ed sport, they combine both of their private schools and to make one team.
Oh, that is incredible. I know Vancouver College won senior provincials this year, I believe, because I have the opportunity to do play-by-play for basketball provincials sometimes at the Langley Event Center. And great crowd it was for BC, by the way. Their fans certainly know how to show up. Same can be said about St. Pat's as well. They always have good crowds that show up. And some of these schools are very familiar, too, because they had teams out at provincials as well. And a lot of familiarity with these schools, of course, for myself. Growing up in the South Vancouver community, a lot of these schools I know the names of from the top of my head. And it's nice to see when, you know, schools in the community that you grew up in are still being represented at events like this. So we'll see Handsworth take possession here of the disc. They'll move it back down to the near side, as number 18 will drop it back out to the near side. Here's number 15. Moves that one back. Now towards the goal line. He's looking for the long huck. He'll take the long huck all the way downfield. This one's got a chance, and that is caught. Patience pays off to the end zone, and that is a score.
And I believe that is a great box out. Great box out by the Handsworth player there, but I don't believe the Burnaby South player.
There was a contest here.
Yeah. I believe he's saying that the number 13 on Handsworth was pushing the player of Burnaby South, but I think it might be staying in the hands of the Handsworth player there.
No, they're sending it all the way back downfield. That is a tough, tough break if you're the Handsworth Royals. That is a tough break if you're the Handsworth Royals. Indeed. Let's take a look at the replay right here. And yeah, I believe he was saying there was a bit of contact with the right arm, at least on that replay there. Back to live action as the disc is thrown forward. Royals will take possession. Now to the near side, and that is incomplete.
In my opinion there, that is enough legal contact to where both players should be allowed and be okay with that amount of contact on that play there. But back into the hands of number 21 for the Burnaby South Rebels, knocking on the doorstep.
Oh, the Rebels will throw it to the end zone, but great defensive stop there by the Royals.
Big huck goes up again.
A long huck heading all the way downfield, and that is incomplete. As we see the player down in a bit of discomfort. And now the horn has sounded for the hard cap, so we will await for the last point. Of course, the Handsworth player just simply shaking his head and walks off.
Maybe a little bit of a hit on the noggin, but he seems to be walking off okay, and maybe just a little upset that he wasn't able to make that catch, but great effort by this player there on the first attempt, and hopefully he's okay.
So we will have a substitution as number 13 will head off, and I think he will have a substitution coming into the game for him on this final point. 13 is calling a foul.
It looks like it's being contested, so back to the original thrower.
Back to the thrower indeed. So again, it will be downfield. Number 1 will take possession. And Hansworth will begin with possession here all the way back out to the near side of the field. Starting from that exact same spot. Here we go, the Royals with possession here as they'll move the disc upfield. Bit of a drop pass. That is flipped forward and it is complete. A long huck heading all the way downfield as that is high up in the air and it is incomplete. So off the turnover. Taking possession will be Vancouver, or no, taking possession will be Burnaby South. As the pass ends up through out to the near side. Here's 15, Burnaby to 21. Moves it back out to number 9. 9 back for 21, back out to the near side for number 15. 21 moves it back for 15. Number 9 drops it back out now to the far side. As the disc is moved forward, back out to the near side for number 21, back for number 15.
Travel
15
call.
called for the travel. So he will take a couple steps back and resume. 21 moves it back for number 9. Moved back across out to the far side. We're playing for the final point here. The hard cap siren has already gone off. As the disc is thrown forward, and that is incomplete. Foul called here, though, by the Burnaby South player. So she's calling for contact to the head. The disputes are always interesting to see because, we'll take a look at the replay here. And she is saying there was contact with the left elbow to the head, which I understand. But again, these disputes without officials, it being a self-officiated game, are always interesting to see.
Yeah, this is a time where observers would be a good time to sort of let the players know about the rules and what is and isn't a foul. Because it is all a learning experience at the end of the day, and these rules are quite complicated sometimes.
Oh, I'm sure you've had your fair share of complicated disputes during your playing career.
Oh, definitely.
Misplayed pass there as 21 unable to receive there for Burnaby South. So now Hansworth will look to get it to the end zone. And try and put a wrap on this game. 18, looking, sends it forward, and that is incomplete as the disc goes out. Ends up back to the near corner. Still looking for the final point in this one. And one has been it was a pretty tightly contested first half of the game, but as the game went on, Burnaby South just started to wear down Hansworth, and now have booked their ticket to the final to face off against Eric Hamber's secondary. And what a catch! As the layup pass unable to get through.
A little bit of a conservation of greatness there.
Contact there. Man, good sportsmanship, helping the man back up. So it will be Burnaby South possession, as he'll elect for the long huck downfield, and that is incomplete. And the washout animations by the Hansworth Royals. Disc is flipped back out into the near side. The fake.
And loving the effort by number 15 here, even though it is the last point of the game and this ultimately does not matter for the result. He is still giving it his all right now and hustling hard.
Play till the final whistle indeed, as that will end up high, and it is caught. They'll flip it forward to the end zone, and that will put a wrap on this one. Hansworth get the third point of their game, but it is Burnaby South advancing to the final of the 2026 Rain Invite as they defeat Hansworth 7-3. Your final thoughts on this matchup, Justin?
Lots of patience from both sides, playing well beyond their years, and excited to see what the senior finals holds for us.
Justin, a pleasure as always getting to work together. We had Theo in the producer's chair, Matthew on the camera, Thank you so much to all of our viewers and listeners for tuning in to today's broadcast. This has been the 2026 Rain Invite presented by Vancouver Ultimate. Start playing today at VUL.ca. Special thanks to VC Ultimate and the City of Richmond for helping make today happen. Now for everyone here at Trickshot, thank you for watching the 2026 Rain Invite on TrickShotLive.com.